What's up, guys? It's EnigmaHood, back in action, kicking ass and chewing bubblegum. And I'm all out of gum. So, today, I'm going to be talking about why Call of Duty sucks ass. And this was a video requested by MsBlitzIV, aka Stephanie, aka Steffi, aka Miss Blitz, aka Blitz Pro. I'm just teasing her. But, yeah, she wanted me to do this video. Right now, you're seeing on the screen a game that is decidedly not Call of Duty. It's a much better game called Doom. But to be more precise, this is a brutal Doom with the map pack Scythe 2. So you can enjoy the bloody giblets while I talk about why I think Call of Duty sucks ass. Now, this is no surprise, and this is nothing new. I mean, lots of people understand that Call of Duty is a piece of fucking shit. But I'm gonna offer my own personal views on it, and maybe some people might find them interesting or give more insight into why this game is so reviled outside of the Call of Duty community itself. So, a little backstory, I guess. So, when I was in college, when Call of Duty first started becoming popular, I guess, I had a friend who, he was into video games and stuff like that, so he was cool. I went to his dorm one day, and he was playing Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. And this game had just come out, and it got really good reviews from everyone, and I was actually kind of interested in trying it one day. Because of the good reviews, I heard good things about it, so I was like, okay, why not? So my friend was playing it, and I played a little bit of it while I was there. And it was okay. I mean, the graphics really weren't all that impressive. We were playing multiplayer, I guess, and it looked kind of like the grass was all flat and shit, and didn't look very good, so I was like, okay, well, the gameplay's okay, I guess, whatever. Then I went there another time, and he was playing it. Then another day, I was over his place. He was playing it again, and again, and again. I think you can sense the pattern here. He was hooked on this fucking game, and he would not stop playing it. And whenever you have a friend or something that constantly plays one game, you kind of get sick of it, don't you? You get a little tired of it. It's like, why don't you play something else? You have so many games, obviously. Why are you only playing this one fucking game? It becomes irritating. So I got sick of it real fast, and thanks to my friend for constantly playing it, it already had a sour taste in my mouth. I wasn't really, it didn't have a good impression on me. So that was bad enough. All right. Fast forward a little bit, and let me tell you a little bit about my ex-girlfriend. So, my ex-girlfriend did not play. She was not a gamer. Okay, she did not play video games. I tried to get her into it, but she was one of those girls that is only interested in makeup and clothes and stuff like that. So, despite my best efforts, she refused to ever play any video game. Except Call of Duty. That is the only game she ever played. Now, mind you, she doesn't play any video games. So out of all the video games that exist in the history of mankind, the only game she plays is Call of Duty. So that gives you a little indication of how widespread this game is, how, commercialized it is, to the point of where even non-gamers play that fucking game. So after I broke up with her, needless to say, this is how this game is characterized. It's the game that even my ex-girlfriend, who I just broke up with and I'm trying to forget, Even she plays it. So that kind of like, you know, that guilt by association thing kind of rears its ugly head there. This is not just Call of Duty. This is the game that my ex-girlfriend, who I had a splitting with that I wasn't very amicable, played. This is the only video game that she played. You know, like, remember like when you have ex-girlfriends and, you know, they might have proclivities towards something, and all those things that you used to think were cute now piss you off whenever, because they remind you of her? Yeah, so whenever I think of Call of Duty, I kind of think of her now. So that's not good. Now, here's the other thing. Call of Duty, or as I like to call it, Call of Duty, Call of Duty, like shit, because that game is shit. Little kids play that fucking game. So, this is nothing new. You know, back when I was a kid, little kids would, they would always try to act more mature or older than they were, or they would try to act cool by being into adult stuff or whatever. Oh no, I don't watch cartoons, I watch action movies. Oh no, I don't play that game, I don't play Sonic the Hedgehog. That's a little kid's game. You know, it's like these fucking assholes. How dare you? How dare you trying to denigrate something as awesome as Sonic the Hedgehog? And trying to look cool. I remember once I was at Sears, like this was back in the 90s, and I was trying to play Sonic the Hedgehog on one of those like kiosk things or whatever the hell you call them, where you get to play video games. I was trying to play Sonic the Hedgehog, and then this black dude and his gang of thugs from the inner city, were like, "Why are you playing that game? You should play what was it? It was a Cliffhanger." They were trying to get me to play Cliffhanger because it was one of the games that were on that like roulette thing. You know, there was like a bunch of different games that you could play. They wanted to play Cliffhanger or Shaq Fu was the other one. They didn't even know what the fuck they wanted to play because those games suck ass. They have a reputation of sucking ass. But it was a more mature game. So they wanted to play those shitty games over a much better game just because it was associated with children's stuff, because they thought it was kiddie. And that always annoyed the fuck out of me when I was a kid. So that's why so many little kids play Call of Duty, because they think it makes them look cool. They think that it makes them more mature. But the problem is that they're not mature. They're just little brats. And then you have a community that's composed of these morons, these dumb kids who, you know, lack maturity and, you know, think homosexual jokes are funny and poop jokes. So that's what makes the community so revolting, you know, because you have these immature kids and then the community gets a really bad reputation. So that already adds to the abhorrence of this game, that it just has this repugnant community of little brats who don't know anything. So then we got the girl gamers, and here's the thing, alright? You can call this stereotypical or me generalizing or whatever, I don't give a shit, because it's fucking true. Damn near every fucking girl gamer plays Call of Duty. You know, now keep in mind what I said before about how genericized this game has become, to the point of where even my ex-girlfriend, who doesn't play video games, plays this fucking game. So it has all of the trappings of a casual fucking game. It's not really a hardcore game, so when a girl gamer plays it, you know, they have, like, there's this question of whether or not they're actually a gamer or if they're just doing this for attention or popularity, because, you know, like I said, little kids play this by the ton, by the buttload. There's buttloads of kids. Like, if you can imagine, like, a cargo net, you know how they use cargo nets to, like, fish out of the sea? Imagine a bunch of snot-nosed kids in those nets. That's how many of those fucking kids like Call of Duty. So these girl gamers are really appealing to these fucking fishnet cargo loads of little snot-nosed kids. That is the primary audience of this. So they become really popular. and they're just coming into adolescence. They're learning about masturbation for the first time, so they're whacking it to these girl gamers who usually show their boobs, and they're obsessed with them. They are utterly obsessed with these people that they don't know and don't give a fuck about them. And the girl gamers, they profit off of this because they get lots of attention, advertising revenue, and they get donations for just playing these shitty games on stream. So it's a win for them. But there is a question about whether or not they actually give a fuck about video games. If they're actually gamers, or if they're just doing this for attention. Yeah, that just adds a little bit more to the reputation of Call of Duty, that this is just a really generic game that is, I guess, maybe a step above mobile gaming, but it's kind of, on par in terms of casual gaming. It's not really a hardcore game. It's so commercialized that, it's the same thing over and over again, so that's the other complaint, that these games, they come out so often that they're virtually indistinguishable from each other. And, MsBlitz, she mentioned this a little bit to me, that I never played, the single-player campaign of any of these games, but apparently, some of them do have, a good storyline, maybe Black Ops game, but Black Ops 3 just kind of was a clone of Advanced Warfare, I think. And just they had no problem with abandoning the storyline that they established in the first two games in order to kind of hop on the bandwagon that they established with Advanced Warfare, because it was a popular game. So that kind of just demonstrates how much they're willing to, I guess, sell themselves out to create something that's popular at the expense of, I guess, content, and even content that they establish themselves. It's all style and no substance. So the last thing I want to mention, I guess, is its role in competitive gaming. So Call of Duty is one of those games that it's very easy to pick up and play. It's not really difficult to become good at it. When I was playing it briefly at my friend's house, or a friend's dorm, I was racking up kills left and right. I mean, I'm not going to brag or anything, but yeah, I have played. I am kind of a FPS connoisseur, so I know my way around it, and it's a very simplistic game, and that's probably what adds to the appeal of the game to little kids, because it doesn't require a lot of thought. It doesn't require a lot of nuance. It's a game that's very easy to play, and it's not hard to become good at it. So, whenever the world champion of Call of Duty, I couldn't give a fuck about, because it's just such a easy, simplistic game. I mean, it doesn't really impress me as much as someone who's good at StarCraft 2, for example. I'm much more interested in watching a competitive StarCraft 2 match or StarCraft 1 match than I would with Call of Duty. But I'm sure there's lots of people who disagree with me on that, and that's fine. I mean, if they love the game, they're going to love watching someone else play it, I guess. But to me, it just seems so simplistic. So I think that pretty much covers why I really detest Call of Duty. I would love to see that game go by the wayside, but I also kind of have a feeling that if it's not Call of Duty, it's just going to be some other bullshit game, From time to time, this happens. I mean, even the game you're watching right now, Doom, was kind of like the Call of Duty of its time. The only difference is that Doom is actually a good game. But I won't lie, yeah, it is a simplistic game. It's run and gun, but it's a hell of a lot of fun. And, the fact that this game is still popular and there's mods and levels made for this game to this day shows that, yeah, this isn't just some fun in the sun fad. This is something that has survived the test of time and really is a classic game that deserves to be at the top of any greatest video games of all time list. Whereas Call of Duty, I really do think it's a fad, and the fact that there's so many Call of Duty games that come out every year that are basically the same damn thing just shows how shallow and unsophisticated it is. And that's all I gotta say. Anyway, thanks for listening to my rant. Post in the comments section what you think. This is EnigmaHood signing off.